We have already discussed uh, the bracketing method. Again, going just a review. In solving nonlinear equations, especially in determining the roots, we have two methods as discussed previously. We have the bracketing method and your open method. So under bracketing, we have already discussed the bisection method and your regular falsi. This time, I'm going to discuss with you open methods. Under open methods, we have the Newton-Raphson method, and we also have your secant. So today, I'm going to discuss with you Newton-Raphson. Newton-Raphson method, also known as Newton method, it is an open method of quickly determining roots numerically. So let's say we have here your plane, and let's see, this, sabihin natin ito yung curve. This is the function of x. Then, if we try to, let's say this is x1. So, kung ipo-project natin siya dun sa may abscissa, this is your x1. Now, this elevation, this is your function of x1. Right? Then, if we try again to draw, ang Newton-Raphson kasi, kung ang regular falsi is on linear interpolation, ang Newton-Raphson is based on tangent line. So, tangent line. So, if I'm going to draw a tangent line passing through this x1. So, if I'm going to draw a tangent line, let's say that is a tangent line. Kung papansinin ninyo, nag-intersect yung tangent line dito sa may x-axis. Right? This is my x2. So, I'm going to project that until here. Itong elevation na to, this is my function x2. Since ang Newton-Raphson is based on tangent, if I'm going, pansinin ninyo, triangle siya. I'm going to draw yung maliit na triangle na to. It looks like this. Yan. Ito yung aking tangent line. Tama. Then, ito yung function ng x1. Itong distance na to, yan yung distance ng x1 hanggang x2 is my, I'll name that as my x1. And let's say this is your theta. From your trigonometry, the tangent of theta from this triangle, that is equal to function of x sub 1 over x1. Saan po kinuha yan? Diba tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Napag-aralan din natin na ang tangent theta, this is usually slope. And pag sinabi natin slope in differential calculus, it pertains to the derivative of your function. So, ang slope na ito, that it pertains to your derivative of the function. Opo, tama po ang narinig natin. Ang Newton-Raphson method, we are going to use here your knowledge in differential calculus. So, let's have an example on how to use this Newton-Raphson. This is the steps. First, differentiate the function, identify a value of x, and dito sa graph na to, from that graph, na-derive ko itong equation na gagamitin natin. Now, we have to repeat the whole procedure until the desired accuracy is achieved. Okay, to further understand on how to use Newton-Raphson method, to determine the roots of a certain function. Let's have an example. So for this one, you're required to determine the root of this function x cubed minus x squared plus 8x minus 3. So the very first thing we have to do here is to solve for the derivative. If our function of x is equal to x cubed minus 7x squared plus 8x minus 3, the derivative of this function is equal to, ano yung magiging derivative ng x cubed? Tama. X cubed is under power rule sa my differential calculus. So this is equal to 3x squared. As for negative 7x squared, the derivative of that is negative 7 times 2x. The derivative of 8x is 8. Now the derivative of a constant is 0. I don't have to write 0 here. Okay? So merely, ang ginamit ko dito is power rule for the derivative of this one, this function. So I'm going to find, ayusin ko lang to, that is 3x squared minus 14x plus 8. Ito yung derivative ng function of x. Okay. Now, if x is equal to 5, saan kinuha yung 5? Given na po siya dito sa my problem. Yung value ng x sa my iteration 0 is 5. So if I'm going to substitute 5 dun sa my fx, that is equal to 5 cubed minus 7 times 5 squared plus 8 times 5 minus 3. My function here is equal to 5 cubed minus 7 times 5 squared plus 8 times 5 minus 3, that is equal to negative 30. So yung fx ko dito is negative 30. This time, I'm going to get pang f prime x. Paano tong f prime x na to? Itong 5 dito, substitute this dito sa my f prime x. So that is f prime x, f prime of negative of 5, that is equal to 3 times 5 squared minus 14 times 5 plus 8. If you try to input this in your calculator, 3 times 5 squared minus 14 times 5 plus 8, that is equal to positive 30. Okay. So, ganyan yung magiging flow ng ating calculation. Kailan ako titigil sa pag-iterate? Once na yung ating f of x ay almost equal na sa 0, that's the time you have to stop. Negative 13 is not equal to 0. So, you have to continue your iterations. Paano makukuha yung value ng x dito sa may iteration 1? We try to go back again doon sa may first na notes natin, dito sa may RP. May given na equation dito. Ito. x1 is equal to xo minus f function of x naught over f prime x naught. So, yan yung gagamitin natin ngayon para makuha natin yung value ng x dito sa may iteration 1. So, that is for the value of x doon sa may iteration 1, that is equal to the value of x sa may iteration 0 multiplied by minus the quotient of f xo over f prime x sub 2. Okay? We're going to use that. So, ang ating x naught ay 5 minus that is negative 13, divide it by 13. Tama? And ang ating x1 ngayon ay equal to 5 minus negative 13 divided by 13, and that is equal to 6. And so, ang value ngayon ng ating x sa may iteration 1 ay 6. The same, yung ating function of x, let's substitute itong 6 na to sa may fx. So, palitan natin. alisin natin yung 5 kanina. Magiging 6 na siya ngayon. So, 6 dito. And put this in your calculator. Ang lalabas na sagot is, ayusin ko lang po. This is now equal to 9. Kindly double check the values I am presenting to you. Plus 8 times 6 minus 3, that is 9. So, dito sa may iteration 1, ang fx ko ay 9. Then, for my f prime x, sa-substitute ko lang ulit yung 6 sa may f prime x. 6. 16 dito. So, ang lalabas sa calculator ko na value is 32. And we double check again the value I am presenting you. It is 30. Hindi pa ako pwedeng mag-stop sa aking iterations kasi yung fx ko wala pa siya sa 9. Again, I need to determine the value of my x in my second iteration. So, for my second iteration, this time, ang magiging equation ko na is yung x sa my second iteration. Ang gagamitin ko ngayon, x sub naught is x sub 1, fx of x sub 1, and f prime x of x sub 1. Yan ngayon ang magiging equation ko to solve for the value of x doon sa my second iteration. So, ang magiging value ng aking x2 ay 6 minus my fx1 is 9. Divide it by 32. And the value now of my x2 is equal to 6 minus 9 divided by 32. That is equal to 5.71875. Sundan ba? Okay. Ngayon, itong value ng x sa may iteration 2, substitute that dito sa may equation ng f of x. You're going to substitute itong 5.71875 dito sa may function of x. That is equal to 0.84787. Okay? Then, yun dun naman sa may f prime x. Substitute again itong 5.71875 dito sa may fx. Then, you will arrive at the answer 26.0498. Hindi pa po nag-zero out si fx, so continue lang tayo sa pagkuha ng iterations. Again, how to get the value of my x3? Use this equation. So, for the value of my x3, ang magiging equation ko na ngayon is for x3, that is now equal to x2 minus the function of x2 over the f prime of x. Yan. Para makuha ko si x3. So, kapag i-input ko itong mga values na to sa equation ko dito, makukuha ko si x3 as 5.68620. Yan ang aking x3. For my fx, again, substitute this doon sa may function x. That is equal to 0.010725. For my f prime x, that is equal to 25 0.39185. Malapit-lapit na ako. Malapit-lapit nang mag-zero out yung aking fx. Again, for my x4, that is equal to x3 minus the function of x3 over the f prime of x3. And so, pag i-input ko again itong mga values na to dito sa may x4, makukuha ko yung value as equal to 5.62857. My f prime x, ang lumabas is 1.79 times 10 raised to negative 6. And sa may f prime x is 25.38335. Ma'am, ano yung 1.79 times 10 raised to negative 6? If I'm going to write that into decimal point, ganito yung itsura ng 1.79 times 10 raised to negative 6. Hindi 0.0179. Itong value na nakikita nyo na to, that is the same as this. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, yung 1.79 times 10 raised to negative 6, almost equal na siya sa 0. So, dito na, pwede na akong mag-stop dito. Kasi yung fx dito sa may iteration 4 is almost equal to 0. So, pwede ko nang sabihin, for my final answer, the x root for this function, x cubed minus 7x squared plus 8x minus 3, is equal to 5.6857. This is now my answer. Okay, nasundan po ba natin? That is Newton-Raphson method.